Hello everyone. Today in this particular video, we will be discussing the major Excel functions every finance professional requires. Normally, after BCom or after BPA or after MBA, if you want to have a career in finance, and most of the job descriptions generally they expect finance students need to have Excel skills, mainly advanced Excel skills. So today we'll be mainly discussing what kind of Excel skills a finance professional requires. So before going into this particular video, first we try to understand why a finance professional requires Excel skills. Normally, most of you might be aware, generally in order to do the financial analysis, finance professional required these particular advanced Excel skills, and they will also be using these particular advanced Excel skills for MIS reports in corporate finance roles. Normally, when this management information system, or if you generate the management information system reports, in that particular case, there is a possibility that finance professional will be using these particular Excel skills, and these particular Excel skills can also be used to the finance professional in making the decision. So for financial analysis, to build the financial models and to prepare the budgets, generally a finance professional requires the Excel skills, mainly the advanced Excel skills. Now we try to understand what are the major Excel functions a finance professional need to be expertise. So we will be mainly focusing on top 20. See, as most of you might be aware, generally Excel is a very vast subject. So today our major focus will be what are the major 20 or nothing but the top 20 Excel functions a finance professional requires. So the first one is sum function. So normally most of the finance professional they will be using this particular function, sum function. And why this particular sum function is used? Generally for total revenue, total expenses and budget calculations. So normally during the budget, if you are preparing a production budget or sales budget or zero based budget or flexible budget, generally the most common Excel functions which is used is function, that is sum function. And the next one is average function. So normally when you're doing trend analysis, or if you want to know average sales of the company or average purchase of the company, average receivables of the company, generally this particular function is used. So that is function called, that is average function. So you can see the same thing on the screen also, where you can see the syntax of that particular function, average function, and you can also see a chart as well as nothing but a chart and a diagram also, where you can see how this particular average function is used. And the next function is if function. Now this is one of the mainly used Excel function for finance professional. So normally this particular if function is used for making the decisions, or in order to know the profit or loss. Generally this particular if function is used. And viewers, you can also see the syntax of this particular if function on this particular slide. So normally sales and the profit and loss. So here you can see this particular thing. If the sales is greater than 100, if the sales is greater than 100, if it is greater than 100, then it is considered as profit. And if the sales is less than 100, then loss. So mainly this particular if function is used for making the decisions. Next one is VLOOKUP. This is one of the most commonly used, and it is generally expected that every finance professional need to know this particular VLOOKUP function. So on this particular slide, you can see the syntax for this particular VLOOK, how we need to execute this particular VLOOKUP function in the Excel. You can see the syntax. Normally, the application of this particular function is fetching the data and for doing some trend analysis. So same thing is given with an example in this particular slide also, product list, sales data, this you can find. Next, after VLOOKUP, the next function is HLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP is vertical lookup and HLOOKUP is horizontal lookup. So normally this is applied for horizontal data retrieval. If you want to retrieve the data horizontally, then we will be using it for fetching the data also. And when it comes to the syntax, you can find that particular HLOOKUP function, how we need to execute this particular HLOOKUP in Excel. You can see the syntax here. And the next one is XLOOKUP function. So this is considered as an advanced lookup. In addition to the VLOOKUP and in addition to HLOOKUP, the advanced Excel, one of the major advanced Excel function is XLOOKUP. So this is for retrieving the advanced data, and mainly this particular XLOOKUP is mainly used for flexible data matching. So here you can go with vertically, horizontally. So if you want to match the data, flexible data matching, then we will be using this particular advanced lookup. So how we need to execute this particular advanced lookup in Excel? You can see the syntax in this particular chart. Suppose here there is an example. You can find employee data is given, name of the employee is given, and the department is also given. Suppose if you want to look up the employee, and if you want to know in which department that particular employee is working, there is an example here. So if you see the name John, Sarah, Alex, and Linda is given with their respective departments. Suppose if you want to see in which department Sarah is working, then we will be using this particular X lookup, that is advanced lookup. Next important function is index plus match. So generally we will be using this particular index plus match function for dynamic lookup. So it is generally mainly used for the flexible data retrieval. So for your understanding, there is an example here it is given. So employee ID is given, product is given, and the price is given. Now if you want to look up as per the ID with the product item and the amount, nothing but the price, generally we will be using this particular dynamic lookup. Now this is one of the advanced Excel function which you will be using for financial analysis and retrieving some key financial data which aids you for making the decision. Normally SUMIF function. So normally if you want to go for category wise totals, generally we will be executing this particular SUMIF function. So the syntax is also given how to execute this particular function in the Excel. You can find that particular syntax in this particular chart. And for your easy understanding, there is a chart, there is a table which is given. We by using this particular table, and you can understand why we generally go for this particular SUMIF function. The next one is SUMIFS function. So normally this particular SUMIFS function is mainly used for multi-condition analysis. And if you want to get a filtered data for preparing a dashboard, generally we will be using this particular SUMIFS function. So here how to execute this particular SUMIFS function, you can see the syntax in the slide. The next one is PMT. This is one of the most commonly used. Normally, if you work in the banking sector or NBFC sector, if you want to know the EMI calculation, normally, if you are a wealth manager, if you are giving a financial planning to your clients, or if you are advising about the different loan options, normally we will be using this particular PMT. Or in simple terms, we generally use PMT function for computing the EMI computation. So the application is loan EMI calculation for financial planning and the comparing the different loans. So for your easy understanding, there is a small infographic imagery is there. Suppose if you are going for a loan amount of 50,000 and if you are paying an interest of 8% for a period of 20 years, and if you want to know how much EMI you are required to pay, then in that particular case we will be using this particular PMT function. Next, count function. So normally this particular count function is used to count the number of transactions and in order to validate the financial data sets. and it is also used to identify any missing entries. Then if you see the net present value, so in your financial management, most of you might have learned about the capital budgeting techniques, where we learned that net present value is considered as one of the most important capital budgeting evaluation technique. So where we try to find the net present value of future cash flows, and we try to understand whether the project is viable or not. So how to execute this particular function in the Excel? You can see the syntax in this particular slide also. So as I mentioned, the application of this particular function is for making the investment decisions, and in order to do the project evaluation also, we will be using this particular NPV. And the next function is internal rate of return, that is nothing but IRR. So this particular IRR function is used to evaluate the return on investment. Suppose if multiple projects are there, now as a finance manager, you are required to evaluate the multiple projects and to decide whether the project is feasible or viable. So further, the major thing which you will be considering is the return on investment. So in order to evaluate the return on investment, we will be using this particular IRR function. And in order to execute this, you can find the syntax in this particular slide. So basically this IRR is used to compare the projects and to evaluate the return on investments. So same thing is explained in this particular infographic image. Then future value. So the another function which we generally use in the Excel is future value. How to compute the future value? So in order to do the future value calculation, we will be using the function FV. So how to execute this particular FV? You can find it in the sheet. The syntax you can find it in the sheet. So normally we'll be using in investment growth planning, and in order to do some financial planning, we'll be using this particular future function. For your understanding, there is a simple example is given. Normally, if you are making an initial investment of 20,000, then what will be the value of this particular 20,000 after a specific period of time? If you assume that what will be the future value of this 20,000 after 10 years, there we can use this particular future value function in the Excel, and accordingly you can compute the future value. So here 20,000 will become 50,962 after a specific period of time. Then the next one is present value. If you want to convert the forecasted cash flows into the present value, or if you want to calculate the future value into present value, then we will be using this particular present value function. So generally this is used for present value of cash flows, and mainly we'll be using in the valuation analysis, because nowadays the most commonly used business valuation technique is DCF, that is discounted cash flow. So in order to use this particular discounted cash flow, we will be using this particular function present value. And here how to use this particular present value, you can see the syntax in the slide. So normally the same thing is mentioned in the example also. Now the next one is round off. Normally when you prepare the financial statements in Excel, now generally we need to round off the amounts. So this mainly used for financial reporting accuracy and currency rounding off. So suppose here there is an example. Let us assume that there is an amount of 12,345.67. Now this can be round off by using this particular round off function. Next, concat. This is one of the major function, especially when you are building a financial model. So normally if you are required to combine the financial data, suppose here there is an example, revenue and revenue. If you want to combine this particular financial data, suppose if you want to know the revenue of a particular month of a particular employee, then you will be using this particular combined concat. So the application is generally to combine the financial data, and it is combined for our reporting requirements. So how to execute this particular function? You can see the syntax in the slide. Concat, you can use it. Then the next function is len. So normally this is mainly used for data validation, and it is also used to check the text length. So mainly use it to check the text length and data validation. Next one is if error. So normally if you want to avoid any errors in the report, and if you want to have a clean financial model without any errors, normally we'll be using a function called if error. So how to execute this particular if error, you can see the syntax in the particular slide. So because we want the financial reports without any error, for this particular purpose we will be using this function called if error. Next one is, as generally most of you might be knowing about this macros, pivot tables. So this is also one of the major Excel function which every finance professional need to require. So why we use this particular pivot tables? Generally, we will be using this for summarizing the large data sets, and mainly if you want to create any dashboard, the pivot tables generally is very helpful to create a dashboard, and it is also used to analyze the trends. So viewers, if you want to have a successful finance career, and if you want to have if you want to have a expertise in this particular finance profession, definitely you are required to know. This is the minimum requirement that every finance student need to know about these particular top 20 Excel functions, nothing but Excel skills. So in addition to this, there are other skills also which you are expected to know, but generally the most commonly used Excel functions by a finance professional is these top 20. So by using these particular top 20 Excel functions, what we can do, we can perform financial analysis, we can build financial models, and it is also helpful for you to crack the finance interviews, and you can also improve the productivity.